Welcome to the 5-minute movement. 5 minutes of movement with me. Let's go ahead and get started. Our friend the bird timer is ready. And so am I. So today we're looking at a fun variation of the squat. So coming into our squat stance with our feet roughly hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider to accommodate the migration of the pelvis between the hips. And the toes turned out a little bit, maybe 10 to 15 degrees. So first of all, let's just reference the squat. So I'm going to, or the squat we're going to do today. So I'm going to turn my pelvis to the right and then lower down just a little bit, turn my pelvis to the left and come up. Turn my pelvis to the right, lower, turn my pelvis to the left and come up. And you'll note that there's a weight shift. So I feel the weight more on the right leg as I'm going down to the right and more on the left leg as I'm rising to the left. So I'm turning the pelvis and coming up. Now you'll note that when I'm turning to the right, my left knee might want to sink in toward, but I'm not going to let it. Instead, both knees continue to track between the second and the third toe. And one nice cue to help me do that is to try to press evenly through the inside and outside edge of both feet. I'm going to try the other direction now. So turning my pelvis to the left and lowering, turning my pelvis to the right and rising. The heels are staying down on this one as well, and that's going to help me with the ankle joint. Now this might be really enough for you today. But there's a little game that we can play involving the hands. So if you want to play the game with me, I'm going to put my hands at about waist level. Now the game is, can I keep my hands in space as I squat kind of around my hands? So I'm still lowering, shifting the weight and rising on the other side, then coming back as I'm turning my pelvis, really paying attention to my knees still tracking in the space between the second and the third toe and keeping my heels down. That's going to help me with my joint mobility around my ankle. So I'm just playing this little game. And then I'm going to try the other direction. Noticing if there's a difference. Continuing to root through both the inside and the outside edge of both feet. As I get more familiar with the movement, I might see if I can smooth it out. If you're getting tired or you're getting confused with the movement or the hands, try doing it a little bit higher up until you become more familiar with it. Always prioritizing precision as you're trying something new. Only prioritizing some of the other variables like depth or speed once you are familiar with the fundamentals of what you're doing. As I begin to get more tired, I can spend more time higher up. If I want to add more challenge, I can try to go lower and slower. Slower here means I'm engaging my muscles for longer. So I can play with those variables as well once I'm familiar with the movement. I'm going to try going to the other side nice and slow, keeping my hands in place the best that I can. And the best that I can is always good enough. No matter what it is, as long as I'm trying, it's within the trying that I define success. Now there's another variation of this that challenges the joints a little bit differently. So we've been doing the pelvis turning version. I can also do a version that keeps the pelvis and the collarbones facing forward. The hands are the same. I'm going to shift the weight to the left, lower, go to the other side, and rise. I like to think of this one as almost describing a square with the lowering and rising of my tailbone into and out of the squat. And it challenges me in a completely different way than the first variation. Of course, I'm going to try both directions. Maybe slowing things down or going smaller while I learn this new variation or practice it for the first time today. So I know that my hands have migrated a little high. I'm going to lower them again and reset. It's all about noticing. All right, so the bird timer is speaking and in fact has now spoken. So that's our 5 minutes for today, with a couple of squat variations with the added challenge, or the added game as I like to think of it, as of keeping the hands in space. I hope that you enjoyed that. I certainly did. And I hope that you can join me again for the 5-minute movement. Take good care.